Team 3. Welcome to week 3 of term 3. I'm at Findon in the garden looking at all the ingredients that we can harvest for this week's recipe. Now I found this one down here, a bit of a strange looking vegetable with its bright green colour and spiky florets. This is called a broccoli romanesco. Now I was going to save this to use with you in the kitchen here at school, but because we're not sure when we're coming back, I thought I'd feature it in this week's recipe instead. So I'm going to harvest some of this and some other ingredients, and when I come back I'll talk to you about a bit more about the broccoli romanesco and what we're cooking this week.
Yeah.
So here I have the broccoli romanesco, and despite its name, it's not actually a broccoli at all. It is from the same brassica family as broccoli, cauliflower, kale, cabbage and Brussels sprouts. And it grows the same way as the broccoli and cauliflower, where it comes out of the middle of the stem of the plant, but it has a more mild and delicate flavour than broccoli and cauliflower. Now, what's interesting about the romanesco is it's about 400 years old. It was first written about in history back in the late 1500s, where it was grown around the city of Rome in Italy, which leads to being why it is named Romanesco. From there, it spread widely throughout more of Italy and then other countries around the Mediterranean and up into Europe, into countries like France and Germany. Here is a map of the world, Learning Team 3, so I can show you the countries that I've been talking about. As you know from your inquiry unit, here is Australia. Then over here, quite far away from Australia, is the Mediterranean Sea. And we've got countries like Greece from last week's recipe and Italy. Now, if we zoom in a little bit more, you can clearly see the Mediterranean Sea and the countries that are on the border of the sea. You can see Greece, you can see Italy. Now here's Rome, where Romanesco was first grown. It then spread throughout more of Italy and the Mediterranean countries, then up into France and Germany. If you can see this island down here at the base of Italy, this is still part of Italy. This is Sicily, and this is where this week's recipe comes from. This week's recipe is Sicilian pasta with roasted romanesco, lemon and parsley. So from the garden harvest, we have the romanesco. You can use normal cauliflower if you can't find this. We have parsley and lemons. We have two extras today. We have fennel and Tuscan kale, also known as cavallonero. These are widely used in Italian cooking. We have onion and garlic, chili flakes, salt and pepper, olive oil, currants for sweetness, pine nuts for some crunch. Now you can use any store-bought pasta, that works well in this recipe, but this week I'm going to be using homemade pasta, and you can find the recipe for this on the second page. So I've washed all my ingredients and we're ready to cook. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our romanesco. We're going to chop it in half using the bridge grip. We're going to put it flat on the board, and then we're going to chop off the florets. Next, we're going to get the garlic. We're going to smash it and peel it. Then we're going to chop it roughly, and using a fork and some salt, we're going to smash it into a paste. In a bowl, we're going to measure some olive oil. Add a pinch of chili flakes. Maybe a little bit more. We're going to add half our garlic. Then the Romanesco florets. Mix it up. We're going to put this on a baking tray lined with baking paper and in the oven for 5 to 10 minutes until it's toasty and a bit golden. While the Romanesco is in the oven, we're going to prepare the other ingredients. We're going to get our onion. Using the bridge, we're going to chop it in half, peel it, and then finely dice. We're then going to get the fennel, remove the fronds, save some for later. We're going to chop the end off the fennel. Using the bridge again, we're going to chop it down the middle. And chop it down the middle again. And then we're going to finally shred it up. I'm going to remove the kale off the stems. Roll it into a ball and finally shred it. I'm going to pick the leaves off the parsley and chop them up as well. I've got a little bit of fennel fronds here. I'm going to pick off the leaves and chop that small as well. Now the last thing I'm going to prepare before I start assembling everything together is my lemon. I want the juice and the zest of one lemon. I've got all my ingredients prepared and now it's time to combine them all. So I've got a pan on the heat with some oil in it, and I'm going to fry down the onion and fennel until it softens. I'm going to add the rest of the garlic, the currants, and the pine nuts. few more minutes until the pine nuts change colour. Okay, so this is looking good. I'm going to take it off the heat and put it aside for later. It's now time to cook the pasta. I have got a large pot of water boiling away. I'm going to add some salt. I'm going to add the pasta and I'm going to cook it until it's al dente, which means soft to eat. If you're using pasta from a packet, you cook it to the directions on the pack. So I have my cooked pasta here, drained, ready to go. In this bowl I have the kale, fennel and parsley, the lemon juice and the lemon zest. I'm going to season it with salt and pepper. I'm going to add some Parmesan cheese and the pasta. Then we've got the fennel, onion, pine nuts and currants. Going to mix it together very gently. There you go, Learning Team 3. This week's recipe of Sicilian pasta with roasted Romanesco, lemon and parsley. I hope you enjoyed this week's recipe and video, Learning Team 3. I'll be back next week with another one. And remember, kitchen is about trying new ingredients. So if you see something that might look a little bit strange, like our broccoli Romanesco, don't be afraid to try it. That's what learning's all about. So until next week, bye for now.